Classification of discrete time signal. Classification of discrete time signals. Let's see here the capital DT indicate the discrete time. Okay, DT indicate the discrete times. Okay, the discrete time signals are broadly classified into the four categories. One is causal and non-causal signals. Causal and non-causal signals, and the second one is even and odd signals, and the third category is periodic and aperiodic signal. And the last one, energy and power signal. Okay. In general, the discrete time signals are classified into the four categories. One is a causal and non-causal. The second one is a even and odd signal, that is also called the symmetric and asymmetric signal. And the third one is a periodic and aperiodic signal. And the last one is the energy and power signal. These are the four categories. Let's see what do you mean by these signals in detail. The first one, causal and non-causal signal. Causal and non-causal signal. See, a discrete time signal x of n, a discrete time signal x of n is said to be causal if its value is 0, if its value is 0 for negative time value. A discrete time signal x of n is said to be causal if its value is 0 for negative times, that is n is greater than 0. Okay, otherwise simply we call it is non-causal. Okay, see, if you want to say the particular signal is a causal or the non-causal, simply check the amplitude of the signal for negative times. Okay, if the signal having the 0 amplitude for negative times, simply conclude that signal is a causal. Okay, in case it having any non-zero values for the negative time, simply it is non-causal. Simply it is non-causal. Okay, let's take one example. Let's take the example x of n is equal to have the sequence 1 minus 1 3 4 5. This is the first one, and one more, x of n is equal to 3 5 minus 3 4 2 and 7. Okay, have the two signals. Now tell me the first one is a causal or non-causal? Any one of them. The first one is a causal or non-causal? For causal and non-causal, what we need to check? The amplitude of the signal for negative times. Okay, so for the first one, here you have the arrow indication, means that is the amplitude at n is equal to 0, and the right side is a positive time and the left side is negative time. This is n is equal to minus 1, and this is n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, and n is equal to 3. So we have some non-zero values for the negative times. At n is equal to minus 1, amplitude is 1. So non-zero values at the negative time instance. Simply it is non-causal. Now see the second one. See the second thing. There is no arrow indication means the starting value is the amplitude at n is equal to 0. Okay, for a particular sequence, there is no arrow indication means the starting value is the amplitude at n is equal to 0. So n is equal to 0. Next, the right side complete the positive time. There is no left side sample. Simply the signal having the amplitude is 0 for the negative times. So this is simply the causal signal. This is simply the causal. Like that. By seeing the signal amplitude for the negative time instance, we can conclude the signal is the causal or non-causal signal. Okay, this is the first. The second category, the second one is even and odd signal. Even and odd signal. Okay, which is also called the symmetric which is nothing but the even or asymmetric. All odd signals also called the asymmetric, even signals also called the symmetric. Okay, now see it. What do you mean by the even signal and what do you mean by the odd signal? Okay, now if you want to say the, let's take the any arbitrary signal x of n. Okay, if it is said to be the even signal, it must satisfy the condition that x of minus n must be equal to x of n. X of minus n must be equal to x of n. A discrete time signal is said to be even if it satisfies the condition x of minus n is equal to x of n. Okay. Similarly, a discrete time signal x of n is said to be odd signal or asymmetric signal if it satisfies the condition x of minus n is equal to minus x of n. This is the condition, and this is condition for odd signal. Okay. Any discrete time signal x of n is said to be even if it satisfies the condition x of minus n is equal to x of n, or if it's said to be odd if it satisfies the condition x of minus n is equal to minus x of n. So in case if 1 and 2 are failed, if 1 and 2 are failed, I have one arbitrary discrete time signal which is not satisfying the even condition as well as odd condition. Okay, that signal is called neither even nor odd. Neither even nor odd signal. Neither even nor odd. Okay. Now let us see the generally any arbitrary signal or any arbitrary discrete time signal is a combination of even and odd components. This is what you already know. Any discrete time arbitrary signal is a combination of even and odd component. That is x of n, generally that is represented as the even component of signal plus odd component of signal. Even component of the signal plus odd component. Okay, that means the even component nothing but which is it satisfies the even condition, that is x of minus n is equal to x of n. Odd component is simply it satisfies the odd condition, that is x of minus n is equal to minus x of n. So the combination of these two simply forms a signal. In that particular signal, in case if odd component is 0, odd component is 0, the signal having only even component, that signal we are calling simply the even signal, which having only the even component. Okay, means it's satisfying only the even condition. So that is x of minus n is equal to x of n. Okay, simply we call it is even. Okay. That is in x of the same case, x of n is equal to xc of n plus odd component x naught of n. In case even component is 0, having only odd component, that is your signal having only the odd components, okay, those signals are called odd signals. Your signals are called odd signal. Okay. Now my signal having these two components, having the signal having the both the components, even as well as odd. So those signals are called the neither even nor odd signals. Now let's see the one example. Have the arbitrary discrete time signal x of n is equal to n square plus 2. Now tell me, this signal is an even signal or odd, or the neither even nor odd. For that, only the thing is just try to find the x of minus n. X of minus n is equal minus n whole square plus 2, which is n square plus 2, which is equal to x of n. So x of minus n is equal to x of n. So simply the given signal is even signal. Like that. To check whether the signal is an even signal or odd signal or the neither even nor odd, first you need to find the x of minus n. Okay. Now try to equate the x of minus n, or try to represent the x of minus n in terms of x of n. Now check the condition whether it's satisfying the even condition or the odd condition. Okay. If it fails in 2, then conclude the signal is neither even or not odd. Now, can you find in an arbitrary signal what is the even component and what is the odd component present? Generally you are represented the signal like any arbitrary signal is a combination of even and odd component, that is xc of n plus xo of n, which is even component and this is odd component. Now I need, so what is the even component present in a signal and what is the odd component present in a signal? I need xc of n and xo of n. How do I evaluate that? For that, let us see, I'm evaluating the x of minus n, which is xc of minus n plus xo of minus n. Okay, xc of minus n using the even condition, x of minus n is nothing but simply xc of n. Now xo of minus n using the odd condition, which is minus xo of n. This is x of minus n. Let us take this is equation 2 and this is equation 1. Okay, then add these two, 1 plus 2. What happens? X of n is equal to xc of n plus xo of n, which is the first equation. Second equation, x of minus n is equal to xc of n minus xo of n. Add these two, odd components will get cancelled. So x of n plus x of minus n is equal to 2 times of xc of n. From this, the even component, the signal is x of n plus x of minus n divided. This even component is x of n plus x of minus n by 2. Similarly, try to find the odd component in signal. For that, just do the subtraction, 1 minus 2. Just do the subtraction. Equation 1 minus 2. That is x of n is equal to xc of n plus xo of n, and x of minus n is xc of n minus xo of. And do the subtraction. So even components will get cancelled. and x of n minus x of minus n will be equal to the 2 times of odd component. So your odd component is 1 by 2 times of x of n minus x of minus n. Okay, this is odd component. See, the even component is x of n is x of n plus x of minus n by 2, and the odd component is x of n minus x of minus n by 2. That the even and odd components. Okay. If I use any discrete time arbitrary signal, simply using that signal, you need to find what is the even component present in that and what is the odd component present in that. Okay. Just we'll try to evaluate the even and odd component from a discrete time signal. Let's take one example in that. Let's take one example. How the discrete time signal x of n, the simple equation I am giving, n cube plus 2n square plus 5n minus 4. N cube plus 2n square plus 5n minus 4. I need the even component and odd components of the signal. Parallelly, do your own. Try to find the even and odd components. I will also explain. Parallelly, just you try to find the even and odd components of the signal. See, this is x of n. Now I am finding the x of minus n. What is x of minus n? Minus n cube plus 2n square minus 5n minus 4. This is x of minus n. Simply in place of n, substitute minus n. So minus n whole cube is simply the minus n cube plus 2 into minus n whole square is n square only. 5 into minus n minus 5n minus 4. Now, what is the even component? Even component is x of n plus x of minus n divided by 2. Add these two, x of n and x of minus n, and divided by 2. When I am adding those two, what happens? Plus n cube minus n cube will get cancelled. Plus 5n and minus 5n will get cancelled. The remaining is 2n square plus 2n square. That is 4n square minus 8 divided by 2, which is equal to the 2n square minus 4. Out of these four terms, second and the fourth term, that is 2n square and the minus 4, these two belongs to the even component. Now similarly find the odd components. Similarly find the odd component. Odd component is x of n minus x of minus n divided by 2. Take the difference and divided by 2. When I take in the difference, what happens? This 2n square and the minus 4 will get cancelled. You will get the 2n cube plus 10n divided by 2, which is n cube plus 5n. Okay. Out of the four, the two terms belongs to the even component and the two terms belongs to the odd components. These two combinedly forms your discrete time signal x of n, like that. Okay. In this case, in case the even component is 0, let us say, in case in this evaluation, if you have the even component is 0, simply you can say it having only the odd component. Since it having only the odd component, the given signal is odd signal. Okay, like that also you can say. Here we have the both even and odd components, so the given signal is neither even nor odd. This is another way of concluding the signal. Okay, one way is directly substitute n is equal to minus n and check for the even condition or odd condition. If those two conditions are failed, then directly conclude the signal is neither even or not odd. That is another way of concluding the signal is even or odd. Okay, this is about your the second one. Is it clear? Classification. Okay, is it clear? So we have the four types of the signals. That the first category is the causal and the non-causal, which is nothing but the the signal must be 0 for the negative time, simply we are calling the causal, otherwise non-causal. That is the first category. The second one is even and odd. Okay. The any discrete time signal satisfying the condition x of minus n is equal to x of n is simply even signal. Okay. So in case it's satisfying the x of minus n is equal to minus x of n condition, then we are calling the signal is odd. In case it fails these two, then we call it as neither even nor odd. And how to find the even and odd components, that's also we cover. It is clear so far? Any one of you?
Clear, sir. It is clear.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, the third one, and the third category is periodic and aperiodic. Periodic and aperiodic signal. What do you mean by the periodic signal? What do you mean by the periodic signal? If a certain portion of the signal will repeat it for regular interval. Okay, that regular interval simply we call the period of the signal. Okay, let us say the discrete time signal x of n is said to be the periodic signal. It must satisfy the condition as x of n plus capital N is equal to x of n. If the discrete time signal x of n is said to be the periodic, if it satisfies the condition x of n plus capital N is equal to x of n. This is for all values of n, where this n is called period of the signal. Period of the signal. Okay. Now, here the minimum value of n, minimum value of capital N to satisfy above equation is called fundamental time period. Fundamental time period. Okay, generally that is represented as n naught. Okay, for every signal you have the period and the fundamental time period. For easy understanding, I will give you one example, well known in the example. Okay, you know the sinusoidal signal. You know the sinusoidal signal. What is the period of the sinusoidal signal? Period of sinusoidal signal, either sine or cos, is simply will give 2n pi. 2n pi. N is integer. Okay, n is integer. For here understanding purpose, I am taking it is 2m pi. Why? Because n generally we use for the time variable, so m is integer. Now that means the 2 pi is also the period. 4, if m value is 1, the 2 pi, m value is 2, 4 pi, then 6 pi, 8 pi, 10 pi. All these values are the period of the sinusoidal signal only. Okay, period of the sinusoidal signal, sine or cos, the 2 pi is also 2 pi is the period, 4 pi is also the period, 6 pi is also the period of the signal, 8 pi, 10 pi, 12 pi, 14 pi, like this. Now this is generally we represented as 2m pi, that is the period, capital N. Okay, now for this, what is the minimum value? The minimum value you will get at m is equal to 1, which is 2 pi. Okay, this is the minimum value which satisfies this periodic condition. So this is called fundamental time period. Fundamental time period, which is N naught. Okay, this is capital N. Now is it clear what is the difference between the period and fundamental period? The period is simply the generalized one. The fundamental time period is nothing but the minimum value of the period. Okay. Now I will check whether the signal is a periodic or not. If it is a periodic, now what is the period of the signal? Let's see. Okay. Let's take the condition and again write in the condition x of n plus capital N is equal to x of n. This is the condition to be satisfied. Okay. Let's take the signal x of n is a sine or cos. Let us say the sine of omega naught n plus pi. This is my signal. Okay. Now find the x of n plus n. What is x of n plus n? A sine of omega naught into n plus capital N plus pi, which is simply a sine of omega naught n plus omega naught capital N plus pi. Let us say this is equation 1 and equation 2. Okay. Now let's say these two are equal. X of n, equation 1 and equation 2 are equal for the periodic. We know the sine is a periodic, so it must satisfy the condition x of n plus capital N is equal to x of n. That means equation 1 must be equal to the equation 2. When these two equations are equal, when this omega naught n, when the omega naught n is an integer multiple of 2 pi. Okay, equation 1 is equal to the 2 if omega naught n is equal to 2m pi, which is the period of sinusoidal signal. Then only equation 1 and 2 are equal. Okay. Now from this, what is the period n is equal? What is the period? Period simply 2 pi m divided by omega naught. 2 pi m by omega naught, where m is integer. Start from 1, 1, 2, 3 and so on. 1, 2, 3 and so on. Okay. Now using these we are evaluating the period of the signal. Okay. Now the fundamental time period is nothing but the minimum value of n, simply. Okay, the value of n at the least m value. Now here the condition is, don't say sir the minimum value always be the m value is 1, that is 2 pi by omega naught is the fundamental time period. It's wrong. For discrete time signal is n always be integer. N always be integer. Like that, you need to choose the m value such that this complete the 2 pi m by omega naught, 2 pi m by omega naught gives the integer value. Okay, like that is the minimum. Just choose the m value such that capital N must be the integer. Okay. Now, in case for any m value, if you are not getting capital N is an integer, then that signal is aperiodic. Okay. Substitute the m value from starting from 1. Okay, substitute m value is 1. Check whether you are getting the capital N is integer or not. Then m value 2, m value 3, m value 4, like that one. So in case it is not possible to get the capital N is an integer for any m from 1 to infinity, then you can say that particular signal is aperiodic. Okay, let's see how easily how to find the signal is even or odd. One example I will explain you. Okay, I'm directly taking the some omega naught value. Example, the omega naught value is 5 by 2 pi. Okay, example, omega naught value is 5 by 2 pi. Why? Because the period is completely depends on only the omega naught. It is not depends on the phase value. Okay, only omega naught. Now try to find the capital N. Try to find the capital N, which is 2 pi m by 5 pi by 2 again, which is nothing but this pi will get cancelled, 4m by 5. This is n. Now, is there any possible to get the capital N is integer for any value of m? There is a possibility if m value is 5, 10, 15, simply the multiple of 5s. Okay, 10, 20, 25 and so on. Simply, what is the capital N naught? What is the fundamental time? Okay, now this is capital N. What you are getting? N is equal to 4m by 5, where m is equal to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 and so on. This is the period of the signal. Okay, n is equal to 4 m by 5, where m value is 5, 10, 15, 20, like that. Okay, that is. And what is the fundamental time period? The n naught is, what is the minimum value of m? What is the least value of m here? 5. So 4 into 5 divided by 5, which is nothing but the 4. So the fundamental time period of the signal whose frequency is 5 by 2 pi is 4, like that. Okay, like that. You need to find the fundamental time period, and before that you need to conclude we need to check first whether the signal is a periodic or aperiodic. If it is a periodic, and what is the fundamental time period. Okay, let's take the other example is omega naught is equal to omega naught is equal to 2. Okay, or even simply I am giving the signal x of n is equal to 5 cos of 2n plus 2 pi by 4. 5 cos of 2n plus 2 pi by 4. For this, what is the frequency? Omega naught is 2. Now find the capital N is 2 pi m by 2, that is 2 will get cancelled, which is pi m. Now tell me, is there any possibility of getting the capital N is integer for any value of m from 1 to infinity? No, it is not possible. If you are getting the m value is 1, you will get the pi, then 2 pi, then 3 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, like that you are getting. But the pi is nothing but again the 3.414. Okay, which is not the integer value. So simply just conclude the given signal as aperiodic. Given signal is aperiodic, and especially those who are preparing for the GATE and other competitive exams, don't waste the time for these calculations. Just see the frequency, especially for discrete time signal. Just see the frequency. Okay, whether your frequency is a multiple of pi or not. Your frequency is a multiple of pi or not. If it is not the multiple of pi, then there itself conclude it is aperiodic. That means in your frequency, if there is no pi term, okay, simply conclude the signal is aperiodic directly. No need to do all this. Okay, just see the frequency. If there is no pi term, then simply conclude the signal is aperiodic. Okay, in case the frequency contains the pi term, like the 2 pi or the 5 by 2 pi or the 7 pi, or it is a rational or any other integer multiple of pi or the rational multiple of pi, whatever it is. In case frequency having the term pi, simply conclude the signal is aperiodic. Otherwise, aperiodic directly. This is for especially those who are preparing for the competitive exams. Okay, don't waste your time for this calculation. By seeing the frequency, they yourself conclude the signal is a periodic or aperiodic. Okay. Is it clear now? How to find the periodic and okay, how to find the period of the signal? Okay, in case next case, if your signal having the two components or the two different frequencies, like x of n is equal 5 cos of 3 pi by 2 plus 4 pi plus 6 cos of 7 pi by 3. Sorry, 7 pi by 3 n. Okay. Now here the signal is a combination of two signals. Now how to check the signal is a periodic or aperiodic? For that, individually you need to find or individually you need to check whether the first signal is a period or not. Similarly, second one, periodic or not. If both are periodic, then only x of n is periodic signal. If both are periodic, then only x of n is periodic. Let's say the signal is a combination of more than two signals. If all the signals are periodic signal, then only the given signal is periodic. Otherwise, it is simply aperiodic signal. At least one signal is aperiodic in that, then the complete signal is aperiodic. Okay. Now, how to find the period of these two? How to find the period of these? Okay. Now I need the period of x of n. We know how to find the period of the first signal, that is 5 cos of 3 pi by 2 n plus 4 pi. For this alone we can find the period, and 6 cos 7 pi by 3 n, for this alone we can find the period. Now I need the period of sum of these two. Period of sum of these two. For that, for the first one, find the fundamental period of first one n1 and n2. That is fundamental period of the first signal 5 cos 3 pi by 2 n plus 4 pi, that I am representing with n1, and the fundamental time period of second one, that is 6 cos 7 pi by 3 n. Just find the fundamental time period of each and every signal present in that n1, n2, n3. If it is in case it having the 4, n1, n2, n3, n4. It having the 10, n1, n2, n3 till n10. Okay, then the fundamental period of x of n is LCM of n1, n2 and so on. Fundamental period of your signal is LCM of all the fundamental time period of the signals present in that. This is way of finding the period. Okay, just see the case 2 again. If the discrete time signal is a combination of more than one signal, then individually you need to check every signal is a periodic or not. If at least one signal is aperiodic, then the complete signal x of n is aperiodic directly. At least one signal is aperiodic, complete the signal x of n is aperiodic. If all the signals are periodic, then find the fundamental time period of every signal, like n1, n2, n3 and so on. Then the period of your discrete time signal x of n is LCM of all the fundamental time periods. LCM of all the fundamental time periods. Okay, remember for discrete time signal, period always be the integer value. Okay, period always be the integer value. Yeah. Now, okay, just try to check these signals are the periodic or not.